And then the last thing that I didn't expect after getting engaged is I know I'm an intentional person, so I probably should have expected this, but I didn't expect this. The last thing that I didn't expect is that for me, being engaged, like every moment matters. Like being a girlfriend matters, being engaged matters, being married matters. And so I didn't expect how much emphasis my mind and like everything that I'm writing down would be focused on using the engagement period to prepare for my marriage first and then plan my wedding second. And so what I mean by that is that, like, yeah, after we got engaged, my mind exploded and shifted into we're engaged and like, oh my goodness, wedding planning. But more so than, oh my goodness, wedding planning, like there was like a sliver before, oh my goodness, wedding planning, where I was like, I'm getting married and what does this mean? And I like shifted into this space where I started the preparation for my marriage. And one of the things that I'm really grateful to for my former church that I used to go to back in my hometown, I'm really grateful that in that particular church, the way that they talked about what a marriage is versus what a wedding is, I think has helped me tremendously in this moment to make sure that I understand that the engagement period is meant to help you prepare for marriage. I think a lot of people have turned the engagement period into a means to plan a wedding. And I think two things can be true at once. You can use your engagement period to plan for marriage, and you can use, or excuse me, to prepare for marriage, and you can use your engagement period to plan a wedding. And in my former church, the way that the engagement period is set up, it's like, this is preparation for marriage. And so my mind immediately went into, okay, let's prepare for marriage first. And what does that look like? And so I'm like, okay, what would our marriage vision be? And what we're gonna eventually get a whiteboard, because right now it's just on pieces of paper. But like my first thought is like, okay, what is our marriage vision? And in our marriage vision, like there are categories. It's like, these are our dreams. These are our strengths. These are our challenges. These are our, like, the best things about us. And so like, I just was like, I want to get this stuff down because I understand that these are things that need to be talked about. These are things that need to be written down, not just so that you can have a successful marriage, but I think if you're anything like me and my fiance, and you come from a background where like marriage has always been a desire, but marriage hasn't always been exemplified, either in positive examples or just in healthy examples. It's like we had this conversation too, like we understand in many ways us coming together is going to break generational trauma patterns and generational experiences. Like we get that us just making this decision is going to do that. And if you think that that's not going to weigh on you, or you think that that's not going to affect how you move around as a unit, you're incorrect. Like that's just not how that works. And so because we know that that's going to happen, what happened in my mind is that like, I'm just like, okay, let me just write these things down then. Let me write down like, what are the advantages that we have? What are the strengths that we have? What are the things that we have that that position us better for success? Let me write that down and make it plain. So when our weaknesses, or when our challenges, or when whatever happens to people who get married shows up, we know explicitly, but these are our advantages and these are our strengths. Because I think a lot of times, again, people who come from me and my fiance's background, the intent is so much on interrupting the generational trauma, changing the generational curse, doing all of that work that like, we don't realize that that's heavy lifting. And you have to know, even in the face of you doing that, that you also have other good, amazing, super fantastic things going on. And you can just rest in that and you can just enjoy that. And there was just a part of my brain that was like, we are preparing for marriage. So since we're preparing for marriage, let's write things down and make it plain. Like, let's write out finance stuff. Like we talk about finance all the time, but like, let's write out financial stuff. Let's write out dreams. Let's write out values, because right, my fiance has his values. I have my values. we're going to have values in our marriage. And I think that we don't talk about those things. And so then when we enter into this institution, we're a lot less prepared to be successful inside of this institution. And I want not just to be successful, but I want to be really, really happy inside of this institution. I want to be really, really healthy inside of this institution. And so it was unexpected for me that I didn't immediately like run right into planning my wedding, and that there was this space where I'm like, prepare for your marriage first. Like what do you want to pour into your marriage? What do you want to get from this marriage? Like, prepare for your marriage. Like, so even looking for premarital counselors, like that was one of the first searches that I did, was like, okay, what type of premarital counseling are we going to get? And then it was like, after some of the stuff that I thought would be good that needed to be in place to prepare for marriage, it was like, okay, now I want to look at planning a wedding. And yeah, that was unexpected, because I thought I would have just went from I'm engaged to let's plan this wedding, but it's like, I'm engaged, let me lay the tracks to prepare for my marriage. And I don't know, I'm surprising myself. I mean, I don't know if that's completely surprising, because I am a very intentional person, but it surprised me. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm engaged, and these are the unexpected things. I'm probably, obviously, going to be talking about it a lot. And I don't know, I'm just excited for this journey, and I'm excited to share it with you. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.